It's the Dear Aunty podcast with your favorite aunties, Carm and Koe.
Talk to me. What's going on with you?
You need advice, and they've got the answers. Auntie gon' keep it real.
Hey, Auntie. Hey, Auntie. Hey, Auntie.
You're tuned in to the Dear Aunty podcast. It's your favorite aunties. I'm Koe.
And I'm Carm.
And we are here to give you some advice regardless of what you are going through. Your aunties got some answers to get you through. So
That's right.
let's get into it.
Yes. How are you today?
I am on a scale of 1 to 10. We haven't done that in a minute.
Okay. We're back to the scale, huh?
We're back to the scale.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I think I've backslid from an 8 to a 7.
No.
Only because I got a lot going on this week.
Okay.
And I feel kind of overwhelmed.
We'll
But
take
lots
it.
of good stuff. So I
Okay.
won't complain, but
Good stuff in the making.
time management is not my friend. What about you?
I'm going to give myself a 7.5. A seven and a half. Yeah. So this week, like yours, is stressful for me. A lot going on. Trying to juggle a lot. So, you know.
We're working it out, though.
We're working it out.
We are here
But overall,
for
feeling
y'all.
good.
Feeling good. Feeling
Yes.
good. I think it's a blessing, right? I'd rather be busy than
Yeah, booked
bored or
and busy.
broke. Yeah.
All right. So I got a secret to tell you.
Okay, what is it?
I found a dog mommy soulmate on Instagram. I'm so excited about it. I know how
You're
much
serious about your dog.
I know how much you love the fact that I'm the best dog mom in the world,
That's, yeah.
and my doggy goes to camp and all of that
She's
good
serious
stuff.
daycare.
And
There's
I've-
doggy daycare.
There's doggy daycare. And I found another black girl just like me. She's actually better than me. She's a better
Okay.
dog mom. And she goes by the name of, let me get this right, Storm Rain Pitt. That's REIGN if you want to follow her on Instagram.
Is that a real name?
Yeah, and her Instagram, she has thousands of followers, and her Instagram videos are insane. Let me tell you what she does with her dog. She feeds her dog daily steak and pancakes and fried eggs and mixed veggies. And it is such, it's so enjoyable for me to watch. And I just wanted you to know that I found my soulmate on Instagram, and I thought you'd be happy for me.
I'm annoyed by this because I am of the belief that you should just have a baby.
Such a hater.
If you're going to do all of this for these dogs, that's how I ended up with my first baby because I told my husband, we're not getting a dog.
So you
we
just
might as
gave
well have a
birth.
baby. Yep, and we had a baby.
no big deal.
Dogs are expensive.
They are very expensive.
But you are taking very good care of your dogs.
Thanks.
So I think you're going to be a great
Thanks for the
mom.
support. I just wanted to share that with you.
Doggy mom
Let me
soulmate.
ask you a question. How do you pronounce aunt? Do you pronounce it aunt, aunt, or ain't?
I think it depends on which one I'm talking about. If I'm talking about like an OG, like a great aunt, they were always ain't.
Auntie.
It was ain't. Yeah, it was ain't.
That's so funny because
I think white people say aunt.
I think they say aunt.
White people say aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never said aunt. I usually say aunt or auntie, but I don't think I've ever said ain't. But I read a tweet and it was so funny. The Cindy Noir, she said different aunties get different versions of the pronunciation.
This is true.
Just like you said.
Yeah. My old,
Yeah.
it was almost like I didn't even know the name. You said it all together. Like
Yeah.
Aunt Kathleen. You know, it was just like
Aunt Kathleen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
that's what it was.
So how do you pronounce? So we're aunties.
We're aunties. And my
Okay.
nieces and nephew, I'm TT.
Oh,
Yeah.
TT. Okay,
But we're not
TT Co.
aunties. I think that's
Okay.
what the others say. So we are over a couple of things. I do
As
believe
always.
Auntie is over it. What are you over this week, Carmen?
So what I'm over, completely had it, is concert goers throwing things on stage at the people that are performing. I don't understand the point of showing up to a concert to some people that you supposedly like and throwing shit at them on stage. I think that's insane.
I think people are insane, and people do things to have a viral moment because they want to be the antagonist.
That's a big loser
And
energy.
you paid your money. I think things should happen. Like there should be consequences.
That's why Cardi B continues to be my favorite, because
Cardi B ain't playing with
immediate consequences. Somebody
Immediate.
threw some water on her. Immediately, this person was struck in the forehead with a microphone. And I think that's what needs to happen with this generation and just this era of people, this new batch of people, is that they need swift and immediate consequences for their
This
actions.
audacious bunch.
Yeah, it's just like, so yeah, I'm over that. Like, if you're going to pay your money to go watch a show, go watch it. Act like you got some home training and go home.
And just enjoy yourself. So what I'm over this week is actually in alignment with what you're over. I am over spoilers.
Okay.
Spoiler alerts.
Spoiler
that
alerts.
don't come with an alert. I think if you're like me and life be lifing, especially when we're talking about like series,
You miss
I
stuff.
might not see the newest episode the day that it drops.
That's correct.
You should not be having a full-on dialogue about what happened last night. Give me more than one day.
Okay, that was going to
Just
say.
more than one day.
Because you can't tell
Just
people,
one day.
like...
Not a whole week. You don't have to be a week behind with your recap.
Okay.
But can I get 24 hours?
'Cause you're gonna
Because
sit.
somebody's waiting for it to drop at midnight. I'm not that somebody. I'm going to catch it by midnight, the next midnight.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I should not log on to Instagram at 8 o'clock the next morning and you are telling
You've
me that
already
James
told
St.
me.
Patrick got shot in the club. Like, no, don't do that.
Oh, that was a rough time.
That was a rough time.
That was a rough time in the internet streets when we were watching Power and people was just
And you just
spoiling it for
yeah,
everyone.
Don't do that. I think it's very rude. So
Yeah.
movies, TV, any of the things, just keep it to yourself or talk to your friends.
But you have like a maximum, like you have 3 days.
You need a timeline
to
3
watch
days?
it, and then after that, you can't put an embargo
So
on
what's
it.
the timeline for movies?
I don't think there is a timeline for movies. I think you need to just go. Movies, you can get movies anywhere these days. You can go stream them too. So hey.
So the moment you see it, it's open season to talk about
I think so. I mean, people, listen, Koe, the world doesn't revolve around you.
This is true, and I be late. So this
Auntie.
is not just for me because I do be late. I'm late to all the parties, baby. I still have not seen the last season of Insecure. Only because I don't want to let go. I'm sad.
I don't either.
I'm sad about
Bring another one back,
it. Please,
Issa.
Issa, please.
Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, I have a trivia game for you.
Every
I know
time
how you
I
like
look at
them.
these, I was
I
looking like, what is
know.
this?
I know
on
that
my
you love
notes.
these games. All right, so first up, I want to know how much of an auntie you actually are in
Okay.
order to keep your auntie card. Okay? So
Wow.
first one, what famous black auntie needs a freak in the morning and a freak in the evening?
I need a freak in the morning, freak in the evening, just like me. Adina Howard.
ding, 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 ding.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Thank you.
All right. Next up, what famous black auntie was known for the way she said, Mary? I don't know if that was
Jackie
good.
Harry.
Jackie Harry, that's my girl. Ding, ding,
These
ding,
are
ding,
good
ding.
because I'm getting them. Okay.
All right. What famous black auntie got her start on the iconic hit show Moesha as her stepmother?
Shirley Ralph.
Ding, 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 ding. I loved her in that role. I just love
Did you?
her. I just love her. Yes. You
Was
didn't
she
like her in
mean?
that role?
I don't remember. I
She
feel like
wasn't
the
mean.
daddy was.
Moesha had a little attitude
Moesha-
problem.
I mean, yeah, that's how
So
it
she
goes.
did what needed to be done.
She did. Got
All
her ass in
right.
line.
And which famous black auntie should have her own boot line?
Mary J. Blige.
The aunties of all aunties.
The auntie of all aunties,
I
yes.
love it. Ding, ding. So you got a 100% score on, you are officially
I am the
auntie.
Thank you.
Boom. We need
Add
sound
some
effects for that.
graphics.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
sounds and things. That was exciting.
I loved it. Oh my gosh.
You are setting me up to win, and I did not have those questions on my card, so that was real.
you did really good. All
You
right,
ready for
let's
some advice?
get into some.
Oh no!
What?
I was
Tea
skipping
time?
ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's not advice
You're
time.
ready to give the
I
nieces
was
and
ready.
everybody
but
advice.
we
But
got to get into some tea first.
real quick, I want to talk about our girl Tiffany Haddish.
Is she our girl? Is she your girl?
Well, is producing a docuseries about successful women who date homeless men. Tell me how you feel about that, because I know you got something to say about that.
Well, I don't know of any successful women that date homeless men. I don't know where she's going to find a plethora of these women to highlight for this show. However, we did previously discuss Auntie Tia, who did pick a man up off the bus
Off the
stop.
bus stop.
And we see how that ended.
And that turned out
So
really bad.
That did not end very well.
So
I'm not here for it.
I'm interested to see what she comes up with and how that goes. Apparently, the whole purpose behind it is to get rid of the stigma behind
it.
homelessness.
That's
but
not going to do it.
I just feel like,
If you're homeless,
can we get some programs in the community or something?
having a TV show is going to
Something
be a
else.
resource.
Anyway.
I don't think so.
Remember Superhead?
How could we forget? I
Okay.
definitely still follow her on Instagram.
I do too.
The fact that she's like not Superhead.
She's like a cultural, like, I don't want to say cultural icon, but like,
I mean, she's a staple of our.
she's a staple in the community,
yeah.
okay? And she now goes by Elizabeth Overson.
Is that her real name?
I guess so. That's on her Instagram,
That's her Instagram name, yeah.
page. But she wrote a long paragraph. Go check it out if you have the time, about like who she is now and how she's no longer that superhead, and that it was fake, you know. But I mean, the sex wasn't fake.
That she created this persona, and you know,
Right.
that
And-
person was fake, but she did that shit for real.
Yeah, and so she definitely did that shit. And so I just want to use this as an opportunity to tell our nieces and nephews out there that this is a prime example why you don't place people on pedestals, especially the people that you see in social media land, and try to live the same lives as them.
They
Because
ain't even living no lives.
5 to 10 years later, they're going to come back and be like, what happened back there? It was all a facade.
It was all a lie, and now you've lived your real life.
It was
based
all a
on-
lie.
based on some fake shit. Yeah, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to use that opportunity as a learning curve. But Sierra is pregnant. They're pregnant again.
Another black baby being born into a
We
two-parent home.
we
We're gonna
love
clap it
it.
up for that. I love it.
We
I'm
love
here
black
for
babies.
it. I'm here for it.
Russell, stay off of that woman.
He can't. He can't stay off of her, and he is such. From what we see, because we don't know, right?
They seem.
But from what we see, he seems to be such an active father that how
Yeah.
could you be mad? He wants 10 more kids.
He's even taking care of Futures.
He is. I
Son.
saw a post today that's like, yo, Future. Russell is such a good daddy that Lil Future's starting to look like him.
I mean,
He is.
hey, it is what
They
it is.
say if you feed them long enough, they're gonna start to look like you, and I think that's what's
And
happening.
I
So
want to say
congratulations.
kudos to Russell for just being a stand-up guy. I feel like he gets so much flack.
He does. He
And I
gets
don't
hated
understand
on.
why.
He gets hated on by grown ass men, which is really weird.
I mean, he seems like he's just being a good person and a good
that's
father
not cool, but
and
that's
husband.
not cool. That's corny.
And Sierra's smiling from ear to ear, and they hate
After
it.
surviving Future and 50 Cent.
There needs to be a
And Bow Wow.
documentary called "Surviving Future."
There needs to be a Bow Wow called, a Bow Wow, a documentary called How Sierra Upgraded Her Life. Because
Boom.
the clowns that she was fooling with. Speaking of clowns,
Ooh, girl.
that's your
Speaking
niece.
of-
That's not my niece.
Auntie Koe called Auntie Koe called her a clown.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna go
Clown
there.
behavior. This is very much circus.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
Come on.
But speaking of pregnant,
Okay.
Krishan is pregnant again, or for the first
I was
time.
going to say, wait, yeah.
She's pregnant
okay.
for the first time. And I have a problem with everything that's happening in this whole experience for her. I don't know if you've watched their show.
I have absolutely not
On
watched their
Zeus
show.
Net. Okay. Well, I was, unfortunately, I had to watch it when I was getting my hair done one day, and it was on in the salon, and I was forced to watch it. Anyway, a new trailer has been released for their show, Crazy in Love 2, where Blueface and Krishan are going at each other's throat. And I just got to say that this is an incredibly toxic relationship, and I don't feel like it should be put on a platform for our nieces and
Celebrated.
nephews
It's being celebrated.
to see
and exploited.
and to try to model their lives after this. This is I want our baby to get help. Krishan needs help. And
I agree.
I'm wondering where are the elders and the mentors in the industry?
Girl, the elders and the mentors in her own family can't seem to get through to her. So
well.
I don't see. You know, some lessons I think you have to learn the hard way. Some things, even I'm sure you can think of examples of. I can think of examples of things that I have gone through that nobody could have convinced me not to do. Like
You
if
just
I
have
had
to do it.
I had to learn it the hard way.
Yeah.
And you know, with my nieces, it's like I could tell y'all stuff all day long, but there's certain things, certain lessons you're gonna
just
have to
hate
learn the
that.
hard way.
Because she's
hate it for you, but-
always online crying about this.
I mean, it's very sad. It's like
Yeah.
a train wreck.
Yeah.
And to see the before pictures of, before Blueface and now, post Blueface is
and
definitely
baby,
like
just
two
put
different
your
people.
and just keep your tooth in. Whatever you do, just keep that tooth in.
What is the backstory with the two?
I don't know, but I want my baby girl to keep
it in.
regardless. All right? So we're praying for you, Krishan. Let's talk about mommyhood. I know that this is...
We should have had drinks.
Yeah. Some mom tales. Listen, let's talk about mommyhood, and particularly mommyhood for the 35 and up crowd.
The geriatric mama.
The geriatric moms.
Check in.
I want to read a tweet
Okay.
that I came across, all right, from Controlled Neo on Twitter, now known as X, which is just dumb as hell. But anyway, he says, my wife is in her 4th month of pregnancy. Her friend sent her a study claiming most men find their pregnant wives unattractive. How do you handle a situation like this? And how do you tell a woman that we can be unattracted to you, but still love you. He's asking for advice from the general population on this. What say you, Koe? Should your husband ever tell you he's not attracted to you while you're pregnant?
I wanted to say nigga please, but that was not an appropriate response. There is no way. There is no right way to say that to a woman, let alone a pregnant woman.
I've never been pregnant
whose
and I'm
hormones
pissed.
are just raging.
Yeah.
That's not information that she needs to know.
Yeah.
You should take that to the grave, sir. You definitely shouldn't
Keep
post
it
it
to
on social media.
yourself. It's just not something. It's not nice. Why would you want to upset?
Why would she
your
need to
pregnant
know that
wife?
information?
Yeah, and yeah, dude. So anyway, so
Please
talking
relax.
more. Let's get more into what it feels like to be a mom, the experience of mommyhood, how we feel about ourselves. Let's get into that. So I'm completely scared of being a mom.
Are you? What's your fear?
I'm first of all scared of giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually scared of the actual giving birth part. Okay, that's number
Delivering
one.
your child.
Delivering a child.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I'm scared that if I get pregnant and have a kid, that my whole life is going to be on pause. And I feel like my career has just gotten on the path that I wanted on. And I feel like having a kid is going to completely throw that shit off track. And I am horrified. I'm scared.
As you should be.
I'm scared. That's not
Those
helpful.
are very, I know. I'm like, do you want helpful advice? Do you want real advice? I was
That
really
look in your eye was
processing,
like,
what should my
you
response
should be really scared.
You should be really scared. I think those are valid fears.
Okay, thank you.
I was literally just listening to a podcast. I think it was Good Moms, Bad Choices, and they were talking about how the conversation around birth is not normalized. Most of what you learn about pregnancy and
Yeah.
childbirth, you learn once you're pregnant, and it's too late, right?
Just
At
like
this
marriage.
point-
You're like,
right,
what the
you're
hell?
you're in it now. And so I think, again, normalizing these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
like what do we have to look forward to? What
Yes.
should we be, aware of? What are some things that you did learn too late that you want to share with somebody a little bit sooner? And I think those are very normal fears. Most people
Okay.
are scared of the birth and not the pregnancy. But
Yeah.
everybody's experience is different. So
I'm looking forward to the pregnancy.
Are you?
Where I can just be pregnant and everybody's like
you know,
catering to
I
me.
thought so. That is a thing. That's a
And I'm
thing.
like, pregnant lady
Taking
coming
advantage
through.
of yes, please help taking
me.
advantage of the pregnant privilege. That's a thing.
The bigger boobs.
The bigger boobs, that's not fun. That's one thing that I was looking forward to that I was very disappointed by. Big boobs are not fun.
They're not fun?
I had zero. I had nipples before I before I got pregnant, and the boobs were like the least favorite thing.
Oh no.
But I think the thing that should make you feel better, even though it's not going to, is by the time you are ready to have the baby, all of that fear goes out the window because you're just ready to get the baby out of you. So you don't care how it's
So
going
it's
to come
like
out. It's like whatever you got to do, get the baby out.
Adrenaline rush.
Not even not even like just in that moment, like during like the last trimester. You're
Okay.
not, the fear has subsided
want it
because
out.
now you're over it. Yeah, you just want it out.
Okay.
So I don't think you'll actually be actively scared.
Okay.
you
Does it
know?
hurt?
Yes,
Okay.
it does hurt. But I feel like wisdom teeth hurt pretty bad also. Did you have your wisdom teeth
No.
taken
I
out?
actually have them in my mouth.
Okay, so you have not
I'm a
experienced that. So what's the
36-year-old
worst
with wisdom
pain
teeth.
you recall?
That's a great question. I
I'm
don't
trying to gauge your readiness.
Actually, I said I wasn't pregnant before, but I actually was pregnant before. I had
Okay.
a miscarriage.
Okay. Was
so
that
was
painful?
painful. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What was? We don't need to go there, but that was a painful experience.
It was
okay.
incredibly painful, and I felt like I was like, "Well, is this like what giving birth is like?"
Was it like a crampy?
It was crampy.
So contractions are cramping.
I was like, "Ooh,"
So maybe you have experienced mild.
like somewhat
Yeah,
closer to
yeah.
it. Okay.
So you might be more ready than you think you are.
So speaking of miscarriages and that kind of thing, I think a major part of why I had a miscarriage is because I am a geriatric.
You think so?
Yeah, I have fibroids also, which we could talk on
That's
and
a
on about this
thing.
topic.
Yes.
But I'm trying to keep it condensed because
Okay.
there's so much to say. But geriatric pregnancy, I was reading that miscarriages are more, what's the word I'm looking
More
for?
likely, more prevalent?
likely with people that are 35 plus. And so I want to talk about just being older and giving birth.
You
What
was
was the
about to say
experience?
old.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, what was your experience?
So I was 34 when I got pregnant for the first time. I had turned 35 though while
Okay.
pregnant, and it was literally like at that very next appointment, geriatric was like right
It was like,
across the
here's your cane.
Yeah, it was like, here you go. You're here to pick up your bifocals. It was literally like now I'm more at risk this week
is so sad.
than I was last week. But it's
real.
It's real.
Okay.
I think that your mindset is just so important. The way that you approach things is, in my opinion, going to dictate what you get
your
out
experience.
of it.
Okay.
How your experience goes. So I think you can get just caught up in the rabbit hole. You know, there's a whole TikTok thing,
and
trend
I don't
about
want to.
how your life is just like you're putting your life at risk. You're going to die. All of the things. You can get lost in the sauce with all of that. And I think that that's going to dictate your experience. I personally went way too deep into wanting to dictate my birth story.
Okay.
And it went the opposite way that I had planned it to go.
Doesn't it always?
Everything that could have went wrong did go wrong, but I came home with a healthy baby. So,
Amen.
So I say that to say, don't stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Like, wait, if you're gonna be stressed out, you might as well stress that shit out when it gets here. Like, it's no sense in being stressed prematurely.
It makes you feel a little better.
And if you go looking at the statistics, they're
From my
all going to tell you
geriatric
that you have one egg
pregnancy.
left and you have no chances. And we know that that's not the case. So don't get lost in the statistics. I don't believe in the statistics. I'm the exception to the rule. I don't care what the rule is. If you want it bad enough, you can have
So
it.
I was going to ask you if giving birth has slowed you down at all, but it hasn't.
It has.
It has?
Yes.
How? You do 50, 11 things a day.
And my head is spinning. It's tough.
It's a lot.
So that's why I look like that when you were like, you're worried your life is going to be on pause. I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I did not think that my life was going to be on pause. And because I had not considered that, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, you were like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? And I still very much am trying to figure out, how do you do all the things? How do you show up as a wife, a mom, a businesswoman?
Yeah.
Show up for yourself. It's a lot.
Do you plan to get help, like nanny?
Well, we have help,
Okay, good.
but you're still the mom.
Okay, that is correct. But I encourage all women, particularly Black women, if you can afford it, because I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know, taboo in our community a little bit.
Not even taboo. It's like frowned upon.
Yeah,
almost.
like, you got a
have
nanny?
Like, who do you think you are to have a nanny?
And I told my husband, I said, this is a prerequisite.
Yeah, the baby needs to come with some help.
I need to have a nanny when she pops out.
Yeah.
Like that.
The nanny should catch the baby.
And I want to say this last thing before we move on, because I want to talk about eggs. I told my mom, I said, okay, when I give birth, here's the plan. The plan is that you're going to move into the house with us and you're going to stay in the guest bedroom for about, 6 months. She's like, 6 months? She's like, back in my day, we didn't have people do that. People didn't come stay with us after we gave birth. And why does this new generation need that kind of stuff? And I was like, Mom, just because you guys did it, I'm sure you know.
Why
you
do you
guys
want
did
me
a
to
lot
struggle?
of things that weren't necessarily good or okay. In other countries, women who are pregnant and give birth, their whole
They
village
do nothing.
I mean, they come, they feed them, they make sure that they don't go to work, that kind of thing. And that's the energy I'm on. That's what I want from my pregnancy.
You know, I think it was today that before 6 a.m. I had like nursed boobs, changed butts, like the laundry list of things that a mother does is you should have help and not feel
scared.
bad about it.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
All right, talking about eggs. We have an anonymous person that wrote in about her eggs.
Okay.
And she is saying to us that she made the decision it says, I made the decision to freeze my eggs while navigating through a challenging life change. Despite the uncertainty of going through a divorce and starting over, the one thing I was certain of is that one day I will become an amazing mother. The life that I envision for myself involves having a family, and for this reason, I decided to empower myself to take control of this transition period, invest in my future, and have a healthy child despite the limitations of my biological clock. And this is from someone who is 36 years old. What are your thoughts on egg freezing?
I am an advocate for you taking control of your life.
Okay.
So I'm an advocate for whatever that means for you. Family planning, whatever that looks like for you. However, and don't eat me up in the comments, because I'm just telling you my truth.
Try it.
I am not an advocate for signing up for single motherhood.
Okay.
So freezing your eggs
And we
with
talked about this
hopes
before.
with hopes of, you're going to meet a mate, you're going to raise this child in a two-parent home. That's your goal. Great. Does that always work out? No. It's not 100%. I get that. Yeah. But planning for
the planning part is
being
very
a single
important.
mother, I think is like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, don't plan to be a single mom. I get that piece. But the planning overall, kind of like we talked
having
about,
options.
is having options,
Yeah.
Can be good. It might be the only option for some women. We don't want to shame it, but we also want to be realistic about what the consequences are.
And I don't think it's anything shameful around it. I think, again, normalizing conversations, because white moms are gifting their 18-year-old daughters with a trip to the clinic to get their eggs frozen, and they're not stressed like we are at 30 because things have changed. Society has changed. We're not getting married as young as we once were. Yeah. So why should you be 35 stressed out?
So what do you think
like
about women
options?
that are rushing and feeling like they have to do it now because they're getting older? I mean, there is some truth to, I guess, the clock ticking, but where's that pressure? What do you think about that pressure?
I think you should make decisions that you are willing to stand on.
Yeah.
I personally can't imagine being, now I'm 39 and I didn't freeze my eggs, and now the doctor is saying I don't have any. I don't know. So do you want to listen to me telling you don't do it, and then 5 years from now you mad as hell? No. So you
don't
should
put
make
that
the
on
decision.
us. Don't. We already told you we're not professionals.
Make the decision that you can stand on.
We're not experts.
10 toes down.
So
let's get into some non-expert advice.
Okay, let's get into it.
Dear Auntie, I am a 25-year-old woman who gave birth a year ago. Not to sound morbid, but is worrying about your death normal? Now that I'm a mother, is that a normal concern, or am I experiencing postpartum depression? Well, I am definitely, Tiana, not going to diagnose you with postpartum depression, even though I do feel like everybody experiences some level, something as postpartum. Maybe not depression, but you're going to experience something.
Things are changing.
I think thinking about death as you get older, not just becoming a mother, but I think it's a common thought as like people around you, it's like, damn, friends, people you went to high school with are starting
your
to
mortality becomes more apparent.
A thing. Yeah, it becomes more apparent as you get older. Worrying about like what's going to happen to your baby when you do pass on. I think those are normal thoughts. I don't think that's a diagnosis.
Okay. So normal. All right, Tiana, don't worry. We all think about dying and kicking the bucket. Okay. Next up. Dear fellow aunties, I hope you're doing well, and I love the show. Thank you. I've been thinking a lot lately about my purpose. How did you find your purpose? I feel like I'm just doing things, but nothing is really fulfilling. I work a 9-to-5 and have been a part-time hairstylist for 16 years. Woo. I'm wondering if you began to feel more fulfilled once you bet on yourselves. Sabrina.
Ooh, so I feel like this is a very common question.
Yeah.
And I love that older aunties are starting to ask this question, because I hate to think of anybody feeling like it's too late. Like I'm out of time.
It's never too late to start.
Never too late. The grandma from the Black Panther, the lady who literally got her first acting role at 80 plus.
I don't know her name, but yes.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
It's never too late. So one of the things that I like to offer in consideration of discovering your purpose is the fact that sometimes your purpose is not something pleasant. It's not rooted in something pleasant. I think a lot of times your purpose is rooted in pain.
That.
So thinking back to those things, those experiences that are unique to you, those things that you've been through that had you like in the fetal position, like crying on your bedroom floor.
Man.
Those moments, I feel like a lot of times are giving you clues as to what your purpose is.
And inspiration.
Yeah, because a lot of times what you've been through is linked to your purpose. It's meant to help you, in helping other people get through those things as well.
Agreed. I know for me, in finding my purpose, I felt like I have a similar story. I moved to Atlanta. At first, I was a blogger. Then I was a journalist. Then I was a PR person. I was a nanny. I was a bottle girl. I was all over the place, right? And I'm like, what is my purpose? I know I'm not just here to be popping bottles in the club. And so it wasn't until, to your point, I really just thought about like my personal struggle, which was I was here in Atlanta by myself and like didn't have any friends or didn't have a tribe. And I used that loneliness essentially that I felt to tap into what I feel now is my purpose with the Black Girl Social Club bringing other women together. So I think your purpose isn't always as apparent as we want it to be. We kind of just think, well, I should be born being, this thing or whatever. But sometimes it comes to you throughout your life's journey and you're pushed in a different direction.
Have you always been social?
I have. I've always been a social butterfly.
Because I think for sure your purpose leaves clues. Throughout your life, there were probably things that you were doing that literally stepped you right into Black Girl Social Club.
Yes, if you ask any of my friends, they would know. They would say Carmen always was throwing house parties. Carmen was always throwing gatherings. She was always introducing people to other people. And so when I look back on it now, I'm like,
it makes sense.
Oh,
The pieces of the puzzle.
It makes sense.
They came together.
So I think just take some time to journal. Think back about all the things you've done over the years. Think about all the things that you love. And I think it will take you to your purpose.
And also thinking about what you're naturally good at. I think we we don't give ourselves credit for the things that come naturally to us.
Yes.
Because it comes naturally to us. It's just that little
We overlook it.
We overlook it. So think about the things that people always ask you for help with. Think about the things that people always compliment you on.
Bingo.
Those, I think a lot of times, it's giving you clues of what other people see in you that you sometimes can't see in yourself.
Exactly. Great advice.
Dear Aunties, I'm a 23-year-old woman living in LA. I just graduated college and met some pretty amazing ladies there. Many of them are from well-to-do families, but I definitely am not. They can all afford nice Chanel bags, expensive shoes, and can afford to go out to really nice restaurants. I can't really afford any of these things. I work 2 jobs just to survive. It's so expensive here, but I like hanging with them, and sometimes I feel left out. I feel really stupid because I recently opened a credit card to buy a $5,000 Chanel bag so I wouldn't look out of place when I was with them. What are your thoughts? Did I make a mistake? Your niece, Paris. Yeah, Paris, you made a mistake because guess what? Ain't nobody about to go broke trying to look like... How you looking like you? How you got the $5,000 Chanel bag and you ain't got $5,000 in it?
Now, Paris, baby, let Auntie talk to you for a minute. We all understand the desire to fit in. We do. We get it, right? But what you've done is you've put yourself in a predicament. You are now $5,000 in debt. And that $5,000, I'd rather you had said you took out that credit card to put the $5,000 towards
opening a business,
a down payment, something like you said, something you can flip, anything else besides a Chanel bag. Okay, and I think we have to move away from the idea that what we have, the material items that we have, make us who we are, because that's just not true.
I want you to consider that it's what's in you and not what's on you.
There you go. Simple.
What substance? How could you? So yes, to answer your question, you did make a mistake.
Yeah.
However, Chanel bags do have great resale value.
Yeah.
Sell that damn
Put
bag.
it back online.
Sell it, please.
Put it
sell
back
it.
online.
And then I'm not even gonna say sell it and go pay the credit card down. I'm gonna say sell it, make payments on the credit card, but use that money to either invest in something, starting a business,
financial advice,
or invest in learning a skill, a high income producing skill. What can you learn that you can now go back and make $5,000 times 10, and then you can buy that little bag and not think twice about it.
And you're leaving out some key points too, Paris, is that you mentioned that these girls come from well-to-do families.
They're not
so they're
taking
not
out credit cards.
likely buying these items for themselves. Number one, it's not their money, okay? And then number two, if these friends are making you feel left out because you don't have a Chanel bag or red bottoms or whatever the case may be, they're not your friends anyway. Find some new friends.
Find some new friends, and it might not be them, it might be you. Because sometimes we are making ourselves feel like we're thinking, we're
smaller.
projecting our insecurities off on other people, especially if they are from well-to-do families and this is all they know. You know? Stop comparing yourself to people on the internet and stop comparing yourself to people in real life who you know are not struggling to get the things that they have. Why put yourself in debt trying to keep up with somebody who don't even care about it because they didn't have to invest in it?
It's craziness.
It's crazy.
Put it on
Don't do it.
Poshmark, put it on eBay, move on with your life.
Move on. Or Facebook Marketplace.
Or Facebook Marketplace. But don't meet up with the people at
Don't
your
meet up
house.
because they're full of scammers.
Because it's scammy.
If you need some auntie advice, hit us up, dearauntipod.com. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Leave us a review. That really, really helps. Share this video with a friend and submit your question for anonymous advice at dearauntipod.com. See you on the next episode.
Bye.